Welcome to the Andrew Buckle book review of the absolute best of Harvey Horrors. Now this is massive, 600 pages from PS ArtBooks. So he's got a brilliant cover there. Shows the examples there on the back. Man in Black. Also includes Chambers of Chills, Witch's Tales, Tomb of Terror, and also Black Cat Mystery. So that's what's included. And you'll see it along there, along the spine, you've got Harvey Horrors, and it says Volume 1. Now, sadly, I've never seen a Volume 2. I would love to see a Volume 2. I mean, this is brilliant. 600 pages. You should be able to pick up a copy still reasonably easily and still reasonably priced. There is also a slipcase version. I didn't get a slipcase version. Even that seems to be reasonably priced. I've seen copies for about 30 or 40 pounds. But this one was 18 or 19 pounds. So here's one of them. Man in Black. I was going to say Men in Black, but Man in Black in this case. And now the artwork, of course, is not cleaned up. It's pretty rough, but still, because they're public domain books. But I just really love it in this sort of volume. I mean, they're actually comic sized. Now, just before I go any further, I've got a couple of other ones. This is Witch's Tale, and they're really nice editions. And these ones, I think I got this one for £10. Quite often you can pick them up for about £5 at Comic Mart or something. Obviously varies in price, but they are still readily available, which is great. And of course you can find them on their website as well. That's PS ArtBooks. Okay, really nice there. Now, is it as cleaned up as the Marvel Masterworks? Is it as oversaturated as some of the Marvel ones and DC ones? Well, no, it is more like the original comics. Now, obviously these have been scanned, and there's probably been some clean up. I mean, they're really nice copies. I generally have no complaints with it, but I still think that obviously if you're not happy with that and you prefer that sort of really super cleaned up version, you might not be so pleased with it. Most of the pages, I found it very easy to read the artwork, the story, all those things, the writing, all very few pages, slightly blurry, very subtle. Very subtle. You can just slightly notice a slight difference in the quality of the page. But most of it, very easy to read. The stories are absolutely great. Now, they're not consistently brilliant, but this is the best of. And of course, that's always open to criticism. You know, someone will say, oh, that one's the best of. That one will say, you know, so it's opinion. I think they're pretty amazing as far as I'm concerned. Black Cat Mystic. Hang on, so we've got this one. This is Black Cat Mystery. So there was a Black Cat Mystic as well. Wonder if that would have been in Volume 2. Man in Black and Alarming Tales. Now that's not included either. And you've got their Warfront, obviously not included as well. I would love to see more volumes of all these sort of things. I think some are available, but again, check out their website. And you can see the quality's a bit rougher in places. It's not consistent. Let's just go through to another Man in Black. I have to keep trying to remind myself it's not Men in Black. I've done through a few of these videos and I've said it each time, Men in Black. I think, nope. I actually quite like the way they did the style. I love them. They had an unusual style. So they like part 2. I mean, just doing one page. They did quite a few of those. And some of them sort of like comedy. Now, I wouldn't say rolling around the floor laughing sort of comedies, but they were still very well done. And they certainly had an interesting style. Well, again, I love all these adverts as well. Another one, what's this one? Oh, Race for the Moon. Oh, recently I just got a Race for the Moon in one of the UK ones. It's got here, old, new. They've got a lot, obviously, the stories there. They obviously had to include those for various postal rates reasons. Mr. America, Mr. Universe. And then you got this. Now, it breaks it down into sections. So you've got Chambers of Chills, and obviously later on you've got Witch's Tales, etc. And you can see it as well. When you look there, you can see the... So let's just go through a couple of these. Witch's Tales. Now, it's not every single story. So you can see there, you've got the list of all the various stories. So you've got here number 22, issue 23, issue 6, issue 7. Obviously, had a slightly weird number in there. Also, of course, gives the details of the script, pencils and inks. Doesn't give anything about the colorist, but still, it's got a real nice selection of stories. And I don't know, there's 6, right? There's a lot. About 15, 16 stories there for obviously for that comic. And it's great. really good. And this one's Horror from the Shade. And of course, if you bought the original books, you might, of course, have some of these already. But still, I think it's just great. Some pretty gruesome stuff in this, and quite funny, I think. Something. I love this one. That's a good story as well. Dust Unto Dust. You've got that story there. Simon Locksley, can't make that, 1909. So there's some of the writing. Now, of course, I have no idea how it looks in the original, because I haven't got any of the comics now, so I can't make a comparison. But here you've got Witch's Tales. Got that one, Art for Death's Sake. That's just great. Obviously, he would have a good... Paul Chambers' mind was filled with ghoulish horrors of a nightmare world. I think the artwork was pretty decent as well. Now, obviously not up to EC comic standards, but at the same time, still pretty good. Pretty impressive. And let's just go to the next section. And again, this one is Tomb of Terror. You've got Tomb of Terror, and you've got obviously some examples down the bottom of all the covers. Actually, looking, they're the original inked covers as well, not obviously the covers that were eventually. Now, this one's actually got a lot more now. 21. So you've got a lot there. And it's Bob Powell, Jack Sparling. So you've got some big names in this as well, which is good. Manny Stillman, you've got there. Rudy Palace. I assume that's how you say it. And then Joe Serta. Doesn't, of course, some of it says unknown. So you've got the Thing from the Centre of the Earth. Got that story there. And lots of course skeletons and ghouls turn up. They love the word ghoul. All that. So notice going through it. Be deathly. Tale of Cain. Pretty good. And what's the next one here? And you've got here Black Cat Mysteries. Sadly, not the Black Cat stories. I would love to see those. I don't know who owns the rights to those. I don't think they're public domain. Maybe I'm not certain. Anyway, those ones, and some of that I think Last Man on Earth. Oh, I wonder if that's some interesting. Last Man on this one, Lynch Mob. I mean, that looks great as well. Look at that way I've used the rope there for the title, which is very nice. But the thing is, also, you've got right at the back, and let's just go to this. You've got here a collection, slip-cased. This is, of course, exclusive for your collection, limited edition slip-cased copies. That's a bit of a mouthful. Slip-cased copies. And then you've got the books. So you've got all the complete library there. You can see Chambers Chills, etc., etc. Black Cat Mysteries, Tomb of Terror. Really great. And again, like I say, you can pick these up. I don't know. The prices probably vary up and down all over the place. And you might be lucky. You might find them reasonably priced. You might find them a bit more expensive. But I haven't been investigating that, I must admit. But you've also got these, which is great. Now, unfortunately, it doesn't include all the covers. So this one's got here, and you've got Witch's Tale 1, and then you got jumps to 6, unless there was 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. But you've got here number 10, you've got number 13, and you've got number 17, 21, 23, 28, and so on. And Tomb of Terror. Now, it would have been nice in many ways if they'd just gone for slightly smaller, maybe, and then had all of them. But of course, nowadays, you've got the GCD, all those things, so you can see all the covers, of course, on there. But it's still really nice to see them in a book like this. And I think that really, really great feature of this book. Really nice on glossy paper as well. The other paper is not glossy. You can see it's not a glossy, it's a matte finish, but this is nice glossy. And you've got the original artwork, and you can see, look at that, the lovely blue there, and blue around there. And also you've got some slightly smaller pages as well. The Devil's Necklace, The Yellow Menace, Voodoo Vengeance, Death Pact. Oh, that's an interesting one. Spider-Man. I wonder what happened to that one. Spider-Man. Doesn't actually say. Chamber of Chills, number 14. Oh, wow. Now, I don't know when that was. 1952. A few years before a certain other one. Torture Jar. Well, that, again, they always had great. Look at that brilliant. I think it's lovely, that title. Really the way they've sort of got oozing down. Of course, nowadays with all computer technology, quite easy to produce titles in every variation. It's just great. Tag, You're It. Howard Nostrand. And you got here, oh, Manny Stillman. So you've got a lot of great artwork here. Jack Sparling. Oh, that's brilliant. That's beautiful artwork. Jack Sparling one there. Fatal Sisters. You've got the, oh, Tom Hickey as well. And that one's The Forest of Skeletons. You know what you're going to get with a book called Forest of Skeletons. Probably some skeletons. And then, of course, again, that's slightly blurry. And there's most of the pages, like I say, very reasonable. But there's a few that slightly, maybe it's just my eyesight, maybe I look at it and I think, oh, that looks slightly not as sharp perhaps as it could be. Only 1 or 2 pages. Most I think are fairly easy to read. But that's just great. And also again at the back, oh, you've got the Harvey Horrors softies as well at the back. That's quite nice. And again, it mentions obviously just the ones, the standard ones that are in this book, not obviously other ones that they've got in their series. And that's www.pspublishing.co.uk. Good old UK company. So that's just an absolute brilliant book, which is probably the reason why I quite often see these around. It's obviously a UK company. But they are great. Really recommended this book. I mean, I was really shocked when I saw it listing. I thought, wow. And sort of as soon as I can't remember, I think it was someone put a comment on Facebook. It's one of those places, quite often you see this thing and you think, oh, I must go and investigate. And then I suddenly saw there was still copies. And wow, I mean, really, really lovely, thick, chunky book like this. It's a great, just sad that there's no volume 2. Now that would be brilliant. A volume 3 or 4 or 5. But still, I love this. Absolutely brilliant. Stories, sort of the ones to dip into. It's not one I would sit down and go through, read it all the way through. It's one that I quite often I just pick up. And you know what? Oh, let's just read that story. And you read it. And then you close it and go off to another one later. So, and again, there's lots of these other ones as well. So you can obviously find out more about all these various books from Harvey Horrors. Excellent, excellent, totally recommended.